What's going on, guys? Matty G back here with you on Football with Flags. Thanks so much for joining us. Today we've got predictions for the knockout stage for the Women's Football Olympic Tournament. First and foremost, I want to apologize too because we're kind of throwing this together the last minute before the games start tomorrow because I don't have a lot of time on my hands. So hopefully everything looks okay to you guys. But we'll go ahead and get started. First off with France and Brazil at the top of this quarterfinal bracket. Now this is a good game for two sides that still have a lot on the line. Of course, France had never medaled in the women's Olympic game. Of course, Brazil will be missing Marta, unfortunately, due to her red card and their group stage finale, which is a huge loss, especially knowing if they don't get past this, then obviously her Olympic career, probably international career, is over. But for France, this side has had a pretty decent group stage, but they have struggled to maintain leads, and they've given away some cheap goals at that. As for Brazil, we didn't originally have them getting out of the group, but they have obviously proved me wrong and done pretty well so far, but still there's a part of me that's just not 100% convinced with this side going forward. I think Katoto, with how important she's been to the French attack, Diani and others, France have still looked pretty dynamic and honestly should have scored more goals in the group stage than they did. I do think that they will take down Brazil in this quarterfinal and advance to a semi. Next, we have Spain against Colombia, and I'm going with Spain in this one. A big reason why is just because of how dominant that they've been so far in this tournament. They've lacked a little bit to be clinical in the final third, but between Alexia Putellas, Bonmati, and others, they've really still dominated a lot of games and smothered teams in their own half with possession. Now it's really, I think, just up to can Spain continue to make good runs, get in behind, find pockets of space, and look to convert those chances even more. I think a couple of games under their belt certainly is going to help as they go into this knockout stage. Colombia have been up and down during the group stage. It was a tough start against France, but they bounced back, almost equalized, and make that game 3-3. Of course, Caroline Ousmane, we'll see if she's available. Obviously, she didn't play against Canada. I think she was in the starting 11, but got taken off. Linda Caicedo has been kind of held at bay a little bit in this tournament. Hopefully, though, with the space that Spain might allow in behind or on the counterattack, Colombia can certainly put some chances together. Hopefully, Mayra Ramirez will be back as well. Remember, she got a red card in the group stage opener. But all in all, though, I still feel like Spain will be too much, and I think that they should advance to the semis. Two previous World Cup finals and a lot of history between the United States and Japan, and we correctly predicted that with our group stage predictions as well. So certainly excited for this. The United States have impressed a whole lot more, I think, than some people maybe gave them credit for, considering how some of their friendlies started, not being able to finish in the final third, creating a lot of chances but not converting them. Sophia Smith, Mallory Swanson, Lynn Williams, Trinity Rodman, all of them have been exceptional. Rose Lavelle and Lindsey Horan have done great things in the midfield as well. And the back line have looked pretty solid as well. I think there's still some room for improvement there at the same time, but when you consider how dangerous that these attackers have been going forward, the United States look like that they are definitely going to be difficult to get by. For Japan, there were times during the group stage they looked a little shaky. They couldn't really find a lot of good outlets, good space out wide, and get the ball forward. And there were sometimes, especially during Spain in that first game, that they would get suffocated in their own half, turning the ball over a whole lot. I think the United States have a chance to do that against Japan, but like we've seen with Japan before, they've had a number of different goal scorers in this tournament already. If they can convert those chances and be clinical, it could be difficult for the United States when Japan gets on the attack and looks to create opportunities. But in the end, I do think the United States maybe have a bit too much offensively right now with the form that they're in through the group stage. I do like the U.S. to advance. Last quarterfinal matchup we have is Canada taking on Germany, and obviously a lot of big storylines with this one, considering, again, Canada took those -6 points when they were penalized with Bev Priestman and their assistant coaches getting banned for a year due to using drones. And the fact that they were able to win every single game through the group stage and still get out as one of the third-place teams is phenomenal. I really have no idea how much their players may or may not have been involved in this entire scandal or anything like that. Still, I think a lot of details to be, to develop over time. But the fact that they've at least gotten to this point with the chip on their shoulder trying to protect their gold medal is definitely something to at least applaud for their performances on the field. As for Germany, they've looked pretty solid as well during the group stage. I would have liked to see more from Alexandra Popp, but she's played more of a midfield role rather than more that number 9 and dominant player up top. But again, Leah Schuler, Jule Brand, Clara Bull and others have stepped up to the plate and put Germany in some great chances to score goals, and they've been able to do so. They put 3 behind Australia, 4 behind Zambia. They got one against the United States and had a few other decent chances as well, but I think this could be a very attacking style type game. I think Vanessa Giles could be very important for Canada as well going forward. We'll see if Huitema can get on the score sheet. I do think we'll see both sides score. Hopefully this is maybe one of those 3-2, 4-3 type of affairs in this knockout stage, but I'm going to take Germany to get to the semifinals and take down Canada. Now on to the semifinals and a great European matchup between France and Spain. Like we've talked before, France still looking for their first ever podium finish. Again, this is the first time Spain have ever been in the Olympics. Getting to this semifinal, I really don't think they'll have too many issues. I think they should get here. Again, I think this is going to be really difficult for France to overcome, and a big reason why, like we talked about, them being able to manage their leads, but they've given the ball away in possession so cheaply at times during the group stage and given teams like Colombia, New Zealand, Canada different opportunities to convert and score when, again, France just could have kept the ball or maybe stepped in front of a shot a little bit sooner. It's just some very small tiny details that they have missed throughout the group stage that they could have been a lot cleaner. You look at the fact that they had the 3-0 lead against Colombia and almost totally blew it. The goal that New Zealand scored against them from way out and getting by Mannion, I don't know if she didn't see it in time or what, but getting by her near post. And then, of course, just letting Canada come back and take the lead there late in stoppage time. The French have looked great at times with some of the goals and the chances they have created, but defensively and in possession, sometimes they've looked very poor. And I think Spain could really, really dominate them in that category, just being able to create turnovers and get numbers forward and put France in some vulnerable positions. So I do like Spain to advance to the final out of this contest. A rematch from the group stage with the United States and Germany in our second semifinal. The U.S. winning that one 4-1, and they looked electric on the attacking third, being able to use the width well, cut inside, half spaces, just getting shots on frame and crashing the goal as well, being, putting numbers in a lot of great positions to be dangerous with Germany. I think Germany will be smart to be a bit more compact, put some more numbers behind the ball when the U.S. are in their own final third. And a big reason why is just because of the U.S.'s ability to not only combine, but get in behind, find pockets of space, get to the end line, and then maybe look to cross or play balls low around the 6-yard box or anywhere in the 18, especially when you have players like Rose Lavelle and Lindsey Horan who can come in behind that initial wave of attackers and look to be dangerous at the same time. And we've seen how good Mallory Swanson, who, again, I was intrigued to see how she was going to do before this tournament started, and she's obviously lived up to the hype with her comeback here in this competition. Hopefully, Alexandra Popp will maybe play a little bit higher in the field like we talked about. Maybe not the number 9, because I doubt that they're going to probably put her there at this point, but maybe like the number 10 or something like that. Germany, I think, are going to be smart to get on the counter, find space as much as possible, when the U.S. do have a lot of numbers in their own half. And again, continue to take shots from distance. We saw the goal that they had against them during the group stage game. We know the physicality Germany has. Continue to throw crosses in, test the back line as much as possible, and Alyssa Nair, make them have to work and come up with big plays. Because again, Germany can poach. They can find goals in a lot of different ways as well down there on their own end. But I do think that the United States, with how impressive they've been attacking-wise, will be able to get the job done again against Germany and move on to another Olympic final. Now down to the third place match, and we have Germany taking on France. And these two sides met in the Euro semifinals just a couple years ago. Germany breaking the French hearts, and I believe Alexandra Popp scored in that game. I know I keep mentioning her, but we've talked before, with videos leading up to this tournament about how we wanted to see other players step up, and I think they have done that very well thus far, but she has not scored yet in this tournament. I would love to see her be able to do it, even though she's been playing in a deeper role. She's just such an exciting player, and again, it'd be awesome to see her, before this game as well, be able to get on the score sheet, but we'll see if this actually does wind up coming to fruition. But I think this is a fantastic game between two great European sides that have a lot of history. This will be the last game for Hervé Renard in charge of the French, if they do make it this far and get to this podium game. Again, we've seen Germany up on the podium before. France still looking for that first one, and what a time to do it here, potentially in Paris in front of their home crowd, with an opportunity to do so with this women's federation starving for something to cling on to in terms of hardware or something related to a trophy, and this would be a huge opportunity. I think it's going to be really difficult for France because, again, they've looked really solid through parts of this group stage. Germany, while they have scored goals, can still look a little suspect in the back at the same time. I think both teams are going to go for it and leave it all out there, knowing that there's a bronze medal in store for them after this game. I really think Germany probably will win this, but I'm going to take France just for the fact that, again, France and Paris hosting the Olympics, and what a great story it would be to send their manager off and this group of players who are so talented finally with something to hold on to as they continue to move forward for hopefully brighter days with this federation. Now for the gold medal match between the United States and Spain. Remember, these two sides met in 2019 in France for the World Cup, the U.S. knocking out Spain in the knockout stages. But if my memory serves me correctly, I believe Spain took the lead in that game before the U.S. came back and wound up winning it. But I think that was just a glimpse of what we were eventually going to see with Spain going forward. Maybe not to the extent that we have seen in the last year, but some players from that roster in 2019, of course, a part of the World Cup winning roster and everything that they have done over the last year dominating the women's game. As for this game specifically, though, I think Spain will control possession more than the United States. My guess would maybe be around 60-40, 55-45, just because I think the U.S. are still going to be able to take the ball a lot, but between how much Spain can control it, movement off the ball, their ability to put numbers in the right areas in an opponent's half as well. Spain are definitely going to be able to create chances. Again, it just comes down to whether they convert them or not. They have struggled a little bit so far in the group stage, but I think if they can really put some good performances together in the quarterfinal and semifinal, that will really help things a lot for this final if they do get into it. And for the United States, while Spain may have more possession, it's a great chance for them to really unleash their speed and pace that they have with those front three, whoever it is, with the amount of space in behind that Spain could leave or out on the wings. The big question that they have to, though, answer is being able to find those outlets and not give the ball away cheaply to Spain, especially if Spain do push them in their own half. Again, we saw Japan struggle with that from time to time in that game. I think the U.S. will be better about it just because they're bigger, they're more physical, they have some different attributes that maybe Japan didn't, that they can help get the ball to each other, up, back, and through, different combinations, get the balls over the top, and I think the U.S. will be a bit more comfortable trying to get out of that. But it will be interesting to see, too, when both of these sides look to try and press one another, especially high press, knowing that they can both break each other down and, again, be able to create chances. I do think the U.S. still have some questions to answer with their back line and Naher in the net. I would love to see them step up and make some great plays. I think they're obviously certainly capable of doing it. We'll see, though, if Spain can punish them. But as for the U.S., again, I think a lot of space left to be desired. Spain are going to have to make sure that if they do lose the ball and they can't win it back quickly, to get numbers behind, because, again, the United States have a lot of pace and a lot of great movement and ability to, fizz the ball out to different players through their midfield play as well. This is really one of those games that's kind of a toss-up. For me, I think the United States have a great chance to get goals on the score sheet. But in the end, I do think Spain will take it. I think it'll be a really tight game. Hopefully this is one of those that maybe goes to extra time. I don't know if I want to see penalties, but hopefully we see both sides score and really go at each other, because it's going to be a phenomenal final if these two teams wind up meeting, especially knowing where both of these teams could continue to go and take the women's game moving forward, both leading the way. Obviously, our old guard with the United States trying to get back to the form that they once had, and then Spain with the dominance that they've shown over the last year, looking to try and continue on what they've already built. It's going to be a fascinating game if it winds up coming down to that. I am going to take Spain, like I said, but again, if the United States win, wouldn't be shocked one bit. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Again, sorry it was kind of thrown together last minute, but just wanted to get something out there for you guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. We're going to make sure we put some questions in the community tabs as well throughout the knockouts to let you guys predict these games. And please let us know down in the comments also if you would like who you think is going to win and any other opinions you might want to bring. But until next time, guys, hope you enjoy the rest of these knockouts for the Olympics. We'll see you soon.